Well, folks, I think it's time we do another garden tour. We're going to start off where the pumpkins were. Miss McTater, my wife, this is her garden bed. Wasn't long ago, this trellis was slap covered up with pumpkin vines. And we harvested a few. And I know we need to get out here and weed some. But just haven't had a chance to do that yet. Been a lot going on. My wife's got some real pretty flowers. I'm not exactly sure what kind they are. I know she can tell you all that. I know the snapdragons are in full bloom. And she's got some extra mulberry trees planted, she rooted. The roses are all bloomed out. And the ivy's trying to take over the pile of wood chips that we had delivered. I might have to get out here and do something with that. Her okra's starting to produce. Every now and then we'll find a little pod on there. We need to get out here and do some harvesting, I reckon. Here is the asparagus. It looks a little different from the last video, huh? I've done pulled out all the corn, or pulled out all the potatoes, and planted some corn. They say, and I can remember my grandmother telling me with corn, you want it knee high by the 4th of July. Well, I planted this in late May, and I'm pretty sure it's already up to my chest. But I want to show y'all something. This is what my wife is growing. I want you to look at the size of that. Now, I've got big hands. This thing is massive. But there's another one she's got growing. And I believe it's the pink banana squash. Here's the little fruit. Now that's just regular cattle panel, cattle panel, but look laying over here. That thing's about 18 to 20 inches long, and every bit as big around as a football. I don't know how much weight that's going to be. But we'll see. We've been weighing all the vegetables and everything coming out of the garden this year. I want to take you back over and show you the pepper row. Now, on both sides of my pepper plants, I planted beans. We've already got 3 or 4 harvests off of the beans. This row's about to give up. And I've done decided that I'm going to pull those once I get ready to harvest them. And they're about ready to harvest. Here's some of the beans that they're giving out. Let me get out of the sun. That way you can see it. You got the Megatron peppers just loaded down. I got the tater pepper, and got one, you see it back there, the orange one, it's going to seed. Here's some serranos. Here's some more serranos. And I believe this is the biggest cayenne peppers I've ever seen. Let me get it off the leaf. I got my Jerusalem artichokes. Come to this side. More beans. Again on the opposite side of the peppers. All the peppers are sticking up. One thing I found out is planting the beans on both sides of the peppers. Those pepper plants are not staked down. There's just a cattle panel running down between the rows. And the beans had helped to keep the pepper plants from falling over. And I've kind of got them crowded. They're not bad. I don't know if it's kind of hard to tell with the way everything is. I planted another row of yellow wax beans. And this is the bed that I had the broccoli in. But I've got 2 tomato cages, 2 tomato plants. They're loaded down with green tomatoes. There's some blushing. Getting kind of wormy though. So I don't know if we're going to really get much of a harvest off of those. And you can see what I'm talking about. That's not blossoming right. It's where a worm climbed in. These are the Rutger tomato plants. They were my dad's favorite. And they're not doing real good here. I've got these. Yeah, I probably don't have enough dirt, enough soil, enough amendment in the pots. And that's the reason for all the yellowing on the leaves. There's just not enough nutrition. We've gotten a lot of rain this year. And with all that rain, you wash the nutrients out of the buckets. But here's another cayenne pepper. Now, if y'all remember right, these plants were tiny when I did the first video. This is the tater pepper. And this is why I like to grow it. They put off pretty good sized peppers. But there are also a lot of peppers on the plant. And here's those cayennes that I got growing beside it. Trying to think of everything to show you. Oh, if you'll notice, we've been weighing out everything. And here's the pumpkins that my wife grew from a volunteer pumpkin plant that we wouldn't, if it'd been in my garden bed, I'd have pulled it up. But my wife said it wanted to be here, so she wanted to let it grow. And that's the harvest we got from it. We've got some tomatoes that we harvested. I bought a scale. We started weighing everything. We've done canned up all kind of pickles, all kind of green beans. We've canned up a lot of stuff so far, and we're running out of jars. We've been blessed so much by God. But I want to show you the amount of cucumbers we got left that we still need to do something with. That's a lot of jars of pickles in there. And if anybody wonders what the tent and everything's for, well, Me and my wife got married in late June. And this is where we got married. I bought the tents, set up some picnic tables, and we basically had a barbecue after the wedding ceremony. I know I talked to you about the trellis row. And this is where we started off in the last video, last garden tour. Well, here's the trellis row. We got cucumbers, and they're thick. My wife planted some. I come back later and planted my variety. But from this post right here down to the ends, cucumbers. And they're really massive and really thriving. She planted a couple of tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. If you look down at the bottom, we got some to harvest. There's some paste tomatoes. And she likes rattlesnake pole beans. Well, she's got a bunch of them to pick. She's going to pick these as the dry beans. And these things are really prolific. They put up a lot of beans. I'm going to walk down the row and show you everything. These right here's got a lot of blooms on them. And I believe this is still the rattlesnake pole beans. I'm not sure what all kind of beans she planted, but she's got a bunch of them. Here's the other side. I know this is a different variety of bean, and there's a little bumblebee, and I'm having trouble following him. He's pollinating. All right. Anybody that knows my wife, they can get with her and find out what kind of beans those are with the reddish pinkish flowers. Now these, I think she said was the yard long beans. They get pretty long. In fact, here's a little apple tree. Well, not so little anymore. Excuse me. I still got a prune on it. I haven't got a chance to do my summer pruning. But that tree's only a few years old. When I say these beans get long, that right there is about as long as my arm. And she's already come out here and harvested about 5 or 6 pounds worth of beans. And I got another director tomato plant right here beside a paste tomato plant. Something's going on with the tomatoes this year. I think it's just too much rain. But yep, that's our garden. Oh, we got one little apple on our Colmenar apple tree. Alright folks, I'm going to leave it with you. Let me know what y'all think. Subscribe and comment. Talk to y'all later. Bye.